what's up, everybody? So this next episode, James and I talk about this. I hosted this Vice TV show. We did a whole bunch of them. The one we're going to talk about is hip hop against punk, and give you some insights on a lot of the stuff that happened that wasn't shown on camera, and how it came about. So check it out. Right on.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. Enson, you're back in Japan. How's it been back in Japan?
Cold. We had like a cold spell for 3 days, and I was like, whoa. Went down to like 7 degrees, 6 degrees.
Wow.
It's not too bad, but considering they're supposed to be like 15, 16 degrees, it's like, whoa. I thought it was warm here. You know, I thought because Sarah was posting the sakuras blossoming, and a lot of stuff was like, oh, wow, it's the weather's spring is here, you know. And then when I get home, it's like, whoa, what the hell? But I remember every year we do have that. We have like before it gets warm, we always had a cold spell that just came in and hit us for like 2 or 3 days. And I think that was it. So today was pretty warm, and looks like the rest of the week's going to be warm. Of course, I am going up north to Sapporo, which makes it a lot colder. So we'll see. But it's nice to be back in Japan.
Good. So today we were going to look at a video that got filmed about, I think, 7, 8 years ago. And it's an interesting one. And it's one I always saw floating about on YouTube, where because of the title, the statement, right? Punk versus hip hop. And I was really curious to know, what was the concept of it. So we're going to talk about that video today, and a bit of stuff from behind the scenes. So I wanted to start by asking, how did this come about? How did the Vice guys get in touch with you to do this?
I got in touch with the guy Sebastian on Facebook, and he asked me if I could host this. They actually were wanting to do like a series of a bunch of them. So they told me it's going to be like a series of a certain group against another group. So the first one they wanted to do was hip hop against punk. They wanted to do one like cat lovers against dog lovers, and it was kind of they were actually like thinking of other ideas that actually could work with a good series. So what they decided was punk against hip hop, and I guess there's a little bit of a rivalry between punk and hip hop. I didn't know that, because I'm not into punk, and I'm not. I like hip hop, but I'm not really into the scene, so I didn't really understand if there was a rivalry or not. But it seemed like there was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we the first thing they wanted me to do is make a promo video, and I don't know if the promo videos, it's not actually in with the whole the punk versus hip hop series, but it's more of like a call out, like, you guys want to make money. Are you punk? Are you hip hop? Message in. And so that's how we got the contestants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so actually they came to my gym, and we made a video calling out people that want to represent punk, and the ones that want to represent hip hop. And we did that video, and we waited about a month or so. We got a bunch of offers, people that wanted to participate in it. So the Vice guys actually just picked 2 hip hop guys and 2 punk guys, and that's where the show started launching. And the first step we had was they wanted me to personally train. It was like a day training.
Yeah.
So they wanted it. I think it's supposed to look like we trained for a while, So I trained all 4 of the fighters, like hip hop guys during a certain time, and then the punk guys at a certain time. But it actually was just one day. So I just trained the hip hop guys and I trained the punk guys all in the same day. So yeah, it was interesting. It was funny because you had 2 different characters, and like the hip hop guys were kind of one guy was real cool, and one guy was real. Yeah, he acted like he was a shorter guy, but he acted like he was super good and he's gonna blow these guys away, and they're real cocky. And then they had two the punk guys. One was like this really nice kid that I mean, I couldn't even see him listening to punk. He seemed real mellow. And then there was another guy, Yoshito, that was like crazy, wanted to fight, like a crazy guy. So it was real interesting. The characters they had was really different. And when I had them train, it was really interesting because the tall hip hop guy, he actually could fight. He used to train before, so he had experience in training. The little guy who thought he was good was really shitty. I mean, it's funny, the guy who's real quiet and humble was really good, and the guy who talked a lot was really shitty. And he talked about how good he was, and when he didn't know how to throw a punch. It was really, really weird. And then when he got to the punk guys, that crazy guy who just wanted to fight, he actually threw a pretty good punch. He didn't know how to fight either, but he actually threw. I could tell he actually got into a lot of street fights. So that was super interesting. And the kid, the young kid, he his father loves fighting, and the father's the one who trains him. So he was pretty decent in the punching.
Was he? I think right at the end of the fight, they say, I think he gets his phone and he calls his dad, and then you speak to his dad. Is that one?
That was a kid. That was a young kid. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the tall hip hop guy was really good. He used to train. So, you kind of got one good hip hop guy and one shitty hip hop guy, and you had one punk guy that was real green, but he could tell he was training with his dad. And then the crazy guy that actually pretty, he could put up a good scrap. So it was kind of even, you had one good guy, one shitty guy, one good guy, one shitty guy. Yeah, it was interesting because after we trained them, they still didn't know much, but they had to rely on what they already knew. And everything was done at my gym because my gym has an octagon in it.
Yeah.
They didn't have a ring announcer, so they asked Sarah to do the ring announcing. So she was the ring announcer.
I spotted that.
Yeah.
Was that like a last minute?
What was really interesting that I was worried about it, getting a little out of hand was they could invite their friends to the gym to watch. So it wasn't a set up fan base. It was randomly the hip hop guys called their friends and the punk guys called their friends. And I was like, oh shit, I hope there's not going to be like a little riot or anything.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried about that because at my gym too, we have liability too, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so that's how it actually got together, and the event actually went pretty good.
Yeah, it was interesting because they really highlight on like the two different cultures, and one of the ways they did that was they had you first go to Shinjuku to like a bar. I think it was Hair of the Dog in like a punk bar. What did you think of that experience of going to like a sort of punk little bar?
Yeah, that was really different. I mean, the bar was super small.
It looks small.
Literally could sit like 6 people. And yeah, they play punk music, and I never listened to punk, so
yeah,
I didn't know any of the songs or any music, and I don't really care for it. It could possibly be a workout type of song, but other than that, punk wouldn't something that I get into. But yeah, it was interesting to go there and interview the punk guys and then interview the hip hop guys in the hip hop club. The punk guys, they seem really mellow. That's what's I thought was really neat. I thought they'd be pretty wild.
Yeah. And
the hip hop guys were actually more aggressive in their, when they're at the clubs, like that, the behavior and their. So it's kind of interesting that. And the hip hop was pretty cool because we went to a hip hop club, and the hip hop clubs have a lot of chicks, so I had a lot of girls there, and it was really a real nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it made me laugh because the first thing the guy says is like, "Yeah, I've seen you in other clubs before."
Yeah, yeah. I used to go to clubs a lot, but not recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it made me laugh. Yeah, I mean, was that a big thing for you back in the day? Were you in quite a lot of the hip hop clubs? Like, I mean, if you how often were you going out a week?
Every weekend,
Wow,
every Friday, Saturdays, we're in Roppongi. We had like a face pass to all the clubs, whether it be hip hop or wherever. We went to this club called Feria, which had a lot of models in it. A gangster guy ran the club. Everything we did was free. We had VIP rooms free, and we spent zero money. The only money we spent was the tolls and the gas to get down there.
nice.
All our drinks, all our rooms, everything was free. Everything we did, all the food we ordered, everything was free. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so we did frequent the clubs a lot, and we got everything was free. We never paid for drinks. We never paid for rooms. We got seated in VIP, and we always were taken care of. And it was a nice time. I guess we were a little notorious for being scary. So we had like a real cool pass where we never lined up in lines.
Nice.
We would do is I didn't want to park my car in front of the club, so we just had to find a parking. And I had a Hummer at the time, so in Japan the Hummers the underneath they have ones that lift up underneath. So I would just put my tire right on the box, so it lines it up right on the box, and that way when you drive over, because the Hummer's so high, it doesn't touch the underneath. And if I don't line it up with the box, what it happens is I'll go over that flap, and it'll make a big noise because when you run it over, it'll go pump. Yeah, it goes down because you kind of smash it down with your weight of your car.
Shit.
So if I go over the box, I'll just go right over the box, and then that flap won't even be touched. And once you clear the parking, and once you clear the parking, the sensor's gone, the flap goes down. So we had free parking. Parkings could go out to $60, $70 a night, because we'd go there we'd probably leave my house about midnight to 1 a.m., get there about 2, and then stay till like 5 or 6, depending on how crazy it is. And that was every Friday, Saturday night. It was like a real crazy time in my life. Yeah. So yeah, we used to go to the clubs a lot. So
Sounds fun.
yeah.
Um, so just going back to the actual fights themselves, right? Was it your guys that were cornering them? Because you can kind of hear like English instructions being said, like to the guys.
No, so they brought their own corner.
Really?
Yep. So they had their own corner, man. And yeah, I didn't do anything except watch and enjoy myself after
Yeah.
that whole thing was started.
They were quite fun fights. You could tell they're amateur fights, but they were pretty exciting. Like,
Yeah,
and
they had a lot on the line. They were representing their
yeah,
their type of song. Hip hop against punk, and then made it worse is they called their friends, so they had more
yeah.
peers to fight in front of. So it put a lot more pressure on them to have to win.
Yeah, no, I was impressed. There was no real stalling or anything. I mean, the punches looked sloppy, but they were going at it like so.
Yeah, they're going for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also noticed I was wondering whether this was your idea or Vice's idea, but they actually had like the old Pride ref cam where they put like a camera on the ref and you got that point of view.
Oh, that was Vice guys decided to do that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Must have
So that
been.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, he got some good shots.
Yeah. So the
Did,
fights are actually pretty good.
mm,
The kid, that hip hop kid, he was actually pretty tough, man.
mm. The one that got the knockout, Raw T.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear from those guys after?
No, the guy Yoshito, the crazy guy,
Mm-hmm.
he has like a recycle shop where he takes, if you have old washing machines or TVs, he'll take it for you.
All right,
but
cool.
he actually charged a little too much. So I actually supported his business and had him come over and pick up some stuff. But then he charged me a lot per item, which was like, whoa, this is like more than the per people I usually have it done. So I just gave him that business at one time and never did.
Oh no.
The other guys, no, I never did see.
Yeah.
There's just this one guy I did see again, that hip hop guy, Tetra.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if it showed it on Vice, but what happened was he lost, yeah.
Yeah.
That freaking bad sport left the place. He
Really?
just upped and grabbed his shit and left.
Wow.
So after we had like after there was like a little after meeting after everything, I kind of straight up called him out and said, you know what, you're a fucking bad sport. I said, you win or lose, you cannot leave like that. You cause problems for the promotion. You cause problems for the other fighters. You got to. The agreement was after the fight, you stay for the announcements of the winners.
Hmm.
He just took off. So I kind of straight up told him, man, you got a lot of growing up to do, and you're a very very bad loser. You're a bad sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did see him actually in a club again after that, and that was my first words out of my mouth to him. Fuck you! Did you grow up? You're so bad sport. Yeah, I really didn't like the way the guy acted.
Mm.
I already didn't like how cocky he was about how good he was, and he thought he was super good. Yeah, so I already
Mm.
didn't like that. On top of that, he's a bad sport, so that even made it worse.
What did he say when you said that?
He didn't say anything. He tried to blow it off like, oh yeah, no, yeah, these guys, they try to. If you notice in the interviews, they try to act real cool, like they try to speak with their gangster English, like, yeah, man, that's how I feel. I mean, I didn't want to waste my time with him. That little punk Tetra, he's a punk. And if I see him again, I'll call him a little punk. I mean, he was a real. I mean, I wanted the Vice guys to make him stay. And when he kept packing his shit to leave, and the Vice guys wouldn't say anything. I even offered to the Vice guys to I'll grab him and make him stay. And they said no, they don't want any problems. No, it's okay. Let him go. Let him go. Like, wow, that's bad, man. You shouldn't let him
Mm.
go. So that was a little downside of the whole event, which turned out pretty good. I mean, Vice pays really well, so I like it was fun and it was a good payment. I mean, we actually did a couple more. We even did one, the black markets one.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll do a separate episode on that because that's an
Yeah, we
awesome
went
little
down to Kyushu
documentary.
on that one. Yeah, so that one's a real
Yeah.
interesting one to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
but yeah, other than that, the after the hip hop one, as you can see, it really did well.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is about that, which is kind of crazy, is that we said this at the beginning. This was like 7-8 years ago. It got like 500,000 views. They really should have stuck with it because if you look at another famous Ryzen fighter, Mikuru Asakura, he's got his own series, Breaking Down, which is literally pretty much the same concept. Like not trained professionals going in, having a fight. It's on YouTube. It does about sort of 2 million views,
Wow.
episodes. So it's funny that they probably didn't realize what they actually had when they started it. So
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if they cut the budget or
mm. It's funny though. The
So
cat dog is
we actually did another call out video to try and get other people with ideas,
yeah.
and we actually came to the gym. We did another filming. Of course, I got paid for it again, but and it never materialized, and they never called me back. So that was the end of it. So I don't know if they changed the budget or decided not to go there because it did well. So I don't know. It wasn't because it didn't do well. So I
Yeah.
don't know what it was. The Vice guys decided not to do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with Vice because I don't know whether it's sort of declining in popularity, but they used to have a TV channel here in the UK and that's gone. So I don't know, but
I wonder.
um,
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Vice.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so if you enjoyed that episode, look out. We're going to do some more stuff on the Vice stuff that you did. That'll probably come later down the line. Any parting words, Enson, before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, what's really interesting is I was always known for my fighting, and after I did this a couple Vice series, I actually like walking through LA airport. I had guys actually come up to me for to shake my hand or autograph because you're the Vice guy. So at the time, I think about 3 years or 5 years ago, um, Vice was really popular. So I was surprised that I had people coming up that knew me only because of Vice, not because of fighting at all. So that was interesting. It's kind of unfortunate that it didn't continue. So I don't know why it happened. Maybe they'll contact me again. We'll see. But other than that, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, you never know. Like I said, if it's taken off over in Japan, there's a market for it in America as well, right? So, although I got to say, cat lovers and dog lovers against each other—that's hilarious. Like
They had some funny ideas, and I was like, I guess it doesn't really matter if they're gonna end up fighting in the ring.
True. I just imagine seeing these shots of like cat enthusiasts and dog.
Well, they actually had an idea against lawyers against gangsters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so lawyers put the gangsters in jail, so they'll have them fight.
No way. That's quite cool.
Yeah, so
Although I put my
I
money
think
on
they
the
had an
gangsters.
interesting concept, but I don't know why they didn't continue with it.
Yeah. But hey, there's still time. Cool. Well, hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll speak to everyone again soon.